And we back. Y'all know who it is. And if we don't, it's Beyond the Surface, Leo, X, and we got a special guest, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming on. And I want to get into a topic that's really not talked about a lot. I've never heard the story about it. And it's something that I definitely want to hear. Hopefully y'all want to hear it. If you don't, then you're going to hear it anyway. If you watch it.
Then why are you still watching?
Right. So retail horror stories, man. Tell us. There's a lot I'm sure you have to break down about that, but let's get into that.
Just hearing the word retail just gives me like PTSD flashbacks. Yeah, retail was like, it's crazy because it was 10 years of my life, or 9 years, I guess, but it's almost a third of almost a third of my existence.
It's a decade,
yeah.
Almost, yeah.
So it's crazy to think that like how much time I spent there and just how miserable I was.
Well, that's good. You can laugh about it now, for sure.
Yeah. If not, I'll cry.
Oh man.
Well, do you have any good ones that you can tell us that you can think off the top of your head? If not, I can go first. I also worked in retail, so that's gonna be a good time.
Well, I remember when we first started working together at where we work now. That was our like bonding like thing that brought us together. Mm-hmm. The first thing that pops into my head is like the first thing, like month or two that I started, I was just a cashier, so just like entry level, stupid young kid, just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, doing whatever I was told to do. And the bathroom, someone came up and was like, "Oh, someone made an accident in your bathroom." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And so my manager was like, "Oh, you go clean it." And I was like, "Oh, like, whatever." I went in there. I walked in and I didn't see anything at first. Like everything looked normal, which made me more like weirded out. But then I opened the stall and wall to wall, top to bottom was
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Feces everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, the technical term.
Yeah.
Oh, yo. I don't even want to think about how that happens, bro.
I was like, how? How is this even possible? How did someone make this and then leave with like unnoticed? Like, did they clean themselves? Did they throw their trash? Like, I don't understand.
Oh my god.
I went back to my manager. I was like, you have to go look at this. This is ridiculous. Like, we need to call in like a hazmat team. And he went and looked at it with me and laughed and was like, yeah, well, clean it up.
He's like, you got it.
Ain't no way.
Yes.
So that was like my initiation. Which it sucked, but I did it. And then I swear to God, a month later, almost exactly a month later, the exact same thing happened.
Oh my god.
And I had to clean it up again.
They had a serial pooper in the building.
They never caught him.
The cops say, "Have you seen this man?" Pictures of toilets everywhere.
Yeah,
it was culprit, dog. Oh man.
And I like after I cleaned it the second time, I was like, I am never tell me to clean that again. I'll walk out if you tell me to clean this again. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, what do you even do? How do you handle that? You can't even ban that person. Like, you just gotta start looking at people suspicious.
Every time they go into the bathroom, you just run in there real quick. Okay, they're good.
Somebody's walking like they're clenching their butt a little bit.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I have one that's kind of in a similar vein. I guess we want to keep it on some poop.
Similar vein.
Yeah. So I feel like that happens to a lot of retail people, and mine happened on Black Friday, the greatest day to be a retail worker.
It's our Christmas.
It's our Christmas. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
Get there. Forget my family. I don't care about Thanksgiving. Forget my family. I want to be there working front line.
Yeah, it's the best holiday of the year.
Yeah. So it happens, and people had to be waiting outside for like maybe 4 or 5 hours, I'm guessing. And it's not really that great of deals, to be honest. I'm thinking personally. But so they open the doors. People come running in. I'm working in electronics at this time, and I'm like waiting. And they're like, "Hey, can you just go help the front, make sure to guide people through the store?" Because they want them to go all the way through the store. And I look down, and there's a trail just walking through every single. So, because the bathrooms were blocked.
You could see the person?
No, not the If I saw that person, I would have pointed him out. It was you. No, it was just the trail, like Hansel and Gretel leading their way home. Just trail.
You follow it, and there's just the shoes there.
Yeah, all the way through the store, and it just smells bad. And I'm like, what happened? Like, you had to wait so bad for your hot deal. You were willing to walk through the store, track it everywhere. So luckily that we had somebody that went over there and cleaned it up, mopped it up real quick. But I was grossed out, beyond grossed out. It was everywhere, tracked through the whole clothes.
That really is like
food, everywhere.
He was on a mission. He was not gonna let nothing stop him from looking at his deals.
Not at all, bro. Like he could have easily just walked up to the front real quick, but he was like, "No, every second matters."
This isn't just any Friday. It's Black Friday.
It sounded like
they have trained for all year.
it sounded like it was Brown Friday. Like, that's nasty.
He had to give you his hot deal before he found his hot deal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And like through that same vein, so I deal with that. It's the same Black Friday. I dealt with that, and I'm in electronics, and the managers are always great at any retail place because they'll boss you around to do the worst kind of jobs.
Oh, 100%.
She gets on the radio and she's like, "We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you at the cases, the Beats cases. We forgot to set them out.
Oh,
so we're like, oh no, me and this other guy, the only ones that have the keys, because we're like 3 electronic people that are working there. And I look at him and I'm like, not it. So I watch him run over there. He's as big as me, so he's like 6'4", 6'5". He runs over there, and people are waiting at the Beats, like on top of him, looking at him, like ready to go. And he goes and starts unlocking it, and it's down low, so you're like crouched in an exposed position.
Yeah.
And people, as soon as he clicks it, people are reaching over him, grabbing on him. And he's like, hey. And they did not stop. They just kept grabbing.
That's like football when it's a fumble and people are diving to try to get the last ball.
It just reminded me of like a zombie movie, to be honest. I was just watching this man get mauled. And he's getting grabbed and like...
He's like reaching over for help. And he's just like...
Yeah. And I was just standing by the games, like watching them like, dang.
That's
tough. Yeah. That must be rough to be you. And I was just watching him, and like that whole thing goes out, the case empties out, and he looks up at me afterwards. I swear he had like a little ripped shirt.
And everything. Oh my god.
Yeah, looking at me all mad. He's like, he goes, why didn't you help me? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Get mauled with you? Like hold everybody back? Oh, wait. No, I was gonna let him get just mauled. Like, yeah.
You just see him at the end. It's just his hand through the whole pile.
Yeah, just getting, mauled. That's how it was. And
Yeah.
Black Friday, America's holiday. We love it.
Wow, that sounds rough, man. You gotta have a different type of skin to work in retail, man. I know I did. Mine was pretty light, pretty easy. I worked at a Tommy Hilfiger, and it was pretty.
That's not even... I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
That's retail light.
I'm like, bro, yeah. Biggest thing was like if we were in a rush to get some shirts on the shelf. You know?
That's all we had to do. Get some shirts on the shelf and look good doing it.
Yeah, that's about it. But dang, I didn't know that we was gonna start off from the jump like that.
And that's not even like the worst.
Oh my god,
That's light. I thought we were like easing our way into it.
Oh, go ahead, top that, man.
Yeah, you got another one for us?
I think just like overall, like the one thing I heard that always like stuck with me is I had a manager that said it should be a form of punishment in like a court of law to be forced to work a retail job. Like it's that bad. He was like someone should have to work like sentence 6 months to work in a retail store with no complaints, like no customer complaints, like no calling in, like you like follow the standard rules that every retail worker has to follow. And if you get like a complaint or if you show up late or call in, add 6 months to your sentence. And then people will truly understand like take me to jail. I don't want to.
Instead of Guantanamo Bay, that's what you got right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I that like always stuck with me because I was like, that's very true.
Yeah, and I agree with you there as far as like somebody should have to work retail because people are jerks, man.
There's just no like consideration for like just people that are working your every day to day. Like if you ever see someone who's respecting a retail worker, chances are they worked retail themselves because they get it. They know like what that person's going through.
Yeah, and like it gave me another appreciation because even like I was in Walmart, I want to say like last year, and some lady was just yelling at the worker like, "Why did you move the trees?" And during Christmas, like, "Why are they over here now?" I'm like, "Ma'am, it's not her fault."
Yeah.
Like,
Acting like she's the CEO of the
yeah,
company.
exactly. Like it was her choice, and she's like, "Why would you do this? Like it's your fault that they're in a different spot." And I said, "Hey, lady, shut up." That's what I literally told her because luckily I wasn't working there, so what is she gonna tell me? Yeah. I was like, "Shut up." She's just doing her job. Like
She's gonna comment on this podcast.
I hope so. I hope so. Catch me, lady. No, I'm just kidding.
Karen.
Yeah, Karen. Catch me, Karen. But yeah, she was just freaking out, and so everybody's so much in a hustle and rush that they just want to treat these people bad. But they're, you know what I mean? You're a human. You're just sitting there. Most of the time, you're like fresh out of high school, maybe even just college, like 16, 17.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, like this grown person's yelling at me for no reason.
And that's the thing, man. Like they make the tiniest minor inconvenience into a molehill, into a mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like it's not. I'll never understand why they think it's that specific person's like fault, or that
you're Mr. Walgreens.
or that like honestly, like they would come to me with all these complaints and like suggestions of how like the company could be running better. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me just in our next like CEO meeting,
what
let
do you
me.
even say in that position? Like you want to say that? Like yeah, let me just do that and be a smart aleck. You know what I mean? But, but then you stand there. What do you say to that? Like oh yeah, I'll definitely bring that up to my manager and say hey, you're like. Get out of my face, bro.
Well, that's like another side of like the horror story aspect. Like, is having to like
internalize it.
Yeah,
eat it.
And like you can't you can't show like you have to have a poker face on, and you can't show the customer an ounce of like frustration or irritation because then that sends them over the edge because they think they're like your highest priority.
Yeah.
But it's a double sword because I would have to like if something like that happened where a customer was screaming at me because we moved the dog food over, like at the end of the I had to like, oh, I'm sorry, we moved it, you know, like apologizing, like basically like kissing their butt, and like offering like discounts and reward points and like all these things just to make them happy so they don't complain, because then if they complain, it like affects our like customer score, and it's like this whole chain of things. But then at the same time, if you give out too many discounts and too many rewards, then I would get it from like the upper management of like, oh, we see you've been like just passing out freaking discounts like the hotcakes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I don't, like, you don't understand, you're not here. Like you're not the one getting yelled at. And you're telling me to just make the customer happy. And unless you like see these people every day, you don't know what it takes to make them happy.
That's a fine line to walk, I remember I actually worked in restaurants, and like that's a different experience because you have to cater to people and get their food out like quick. You know, you got hungry and angry people, like hungry and upset people in there who typically may be in a mood anyways. Like like those people that may have just came from Walgreens, complaining about the dog food, and then on top of that they're hungry now, so you got to give them their food. And then you got cooks in the back who, if they mess up an order, then they're gonna act like it's your fault. So then it's just like that different dynamic of customer service, of people always acting like it's gonna be. It's like it's on you. You gotta take that. You gotta take them shots sometimes. So definitely glad. I still kind of work in the customer service too, but that can only change so much to such a degree. But
and it also depends on what type of customer service place you're working at. Because I feel like at Disneyland, I don't think you're gonna get yelled at as much, but your hours are gonna be longer. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be working terrible shift, but nobody's going to go in there yelling at Mickey Mouse right away. You know what I mean? You're not going to go in there and be like, Mickey Mouse, you do a terrible job. You better say, every time you see me.
I didn't like the last Marvel movie.
Exactly.
They're ruining Star Wars.
And when when I was working for, I'll say it now. I was working for Target, and they just came out with the they didn't care about the gender for the bathrooms. And we had picketers out front,
Jeez.
churches, like,
Oh wow.
we're against this. And they come in like, how does it feel working for this company? And I'm like, I'm just trying to get a paycheck, man.
Yeah.
I'm just fresh out of college.
You're
I
like-
didn't have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, they're acting like y'all would live, breathe, and die for this company. Like, bro, get out my face.
I love it till the day I die. Circled for life.
Yeah.
Target.
You got a problem with Target? You want to talk about it? Let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk. And that's the thing. Like, to a certain degree, like, yeah, we care that you're yelling at us, but I'm like, oh, really? Do I need this as a normal job? Is this worth my sanity? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the things that they push you through, that's just like the company kind of corporate ladder type deal. Because whenever I switched, I went from unloading trucks with like 20 people to they're like, hey, let's make this more cost efficient. Let's unload it with 3 people. Oh. And let's just give them an extra hour or 2. They got it. And we're like busting it, trying to unload the full trailer trucks like by 11 o'clock. Got there at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, this is it. Y'all got it. Y'all good. you can come unload this because this is not fun. And that's kind of like just inconsiderate sometimes of the job.
Speaking of like warehouse, I remember at the store I was at the time, it was like dead middle of July, and you know how hot it gets here. And we received like a bunch of Halloween candy because we get it obviously months in advance, so we can like be prepared to set it up and everything. And coincidentally, at that time, our AC in the whole store broke. And they like didn't fix it. They didn't give a care. They forced us to still like stay open and work like no. And customers are coming in and like immediately like drenched in sweat. And I'm like in my suit and vest and everything, and I'm like just drenched in sweat. Yeah. But the candy in the back melted because it was hot. It was in the warehouse. It was like 120 some degrees.
So did y'all go home or what?
I was like, we can't sell this, and they're like, you're gonna sell it. They're like, what are we gonna do? Throw it away? I was like, that's exactly what you should do.
Oh my god.
So we sold it.
Yeah.
We sold like obviously when it got colder and stuff, and the AC like months later got fixed, it rehardened. Yeah. And they're like, oh, they're not gonna notice.
It's just a clump of
yeah. And I was just like,
the ugliest Snickers you ever got.
Yeah.
I like that was just one of the like biggest like you're kidding right moments, and they're like, no, just it's fine, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
We paid good money for that Snickers.
A whole melted club of a candy. I couldn't imagine that.
That corporate ladder, they don't be caring at all.
No,
man.
not at all.
They said they still gonna taste it.
Yeah, they're gonna eat it.
Chocolate's chocolate.
But it surprised me that they still got it. You know what I mean? They still. Some people came in and said, "Wow,
well,
deal."
If I had to work like late or cover like a graveyard shift or something, I would go in the back and try to like
massage it down. like breaking them apart.
I was reading a bedtime story, hoping it would like bring it back to life. No, I would like scan as much as I could to like throw away.
Oh,
because I'm like, that was my way of like sticking it to the man. I don't care what you say. I'm not selling this candy to anybody.
Yeah. Like it's not right. That's passion. Right?
I like it disgusted me to no end, and like that among like many other things I saw made me really like be like, if I'm gonna buy any type of food, whether it's candy, jerky, like whatever, like I am not going to a convenience store, whether it be CVS, Walgreens, like I'll go to like an actual grocery store.
All right, so y'all heard it here first. Retail horror stories, sensitive topic. So just think about that when you go to your local Walgreens or QT. What they're going through. Y'all heard it here first. Do a little bit of research. Expand your knowledge on what's going on out there in the world. Appreciate y'all tuning back in.
Yeah, take care of your retail workers. That's it. Just treat them like humans. That's it. That's all we ask.
Treat a retail worker like they were your mom. That would be my piece of advice.
Yeah.
Unless you hate your mom, then don't.
Oh yeah. Then your dad.
Yeah.
Or unless you hate them,
Yeah.
then your grandma.
Somebody-
Unless you hate them,
somebody-
Somebody you like at least. Maybe your pet. Treat them like a pet.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the podcast. Thank you again, Michael, for coming. We might have him on. We might not. We don't know. It depends after this episode. But
We'll see how many likes this gets.
Evaluation.
all right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.